We're going to start with your grip, and just tell these folks at home really what made you such a great putter.
I was probably just extraordinarily visual. I mean, that was the main thing. I don't care how you grip it. I didn't care how I gripped it. I brought the belly putter out way back in the day. I split grip with it. I putted conventionally, Brandel. I think the big key is to be able to just be real visual and real relaxed. Before I'd start a round, any competitive round, I would always take 2 balls and just hit putts at whatever ball. I would usually swing around, but because the camera's here, I won't do that. And I would just putt at this ball. I wanted to kind of dial in my aim a little bit at something above ground. And I've always been real visual, Brandel, and I've always tried to putt at something above ground.
Why is that different than just putting to the hole?
Well, I think it's harder to fit the ball into the hole than to try to bump into something.
Because I'd see you putt to the ball years ago when we'd play.
I know.
And I didn't know what the heck you were doing.
Well, I put this cup here because I just, I guess one day I just was out kind of piddling around and I was drinking water and I just started hitting putts at this bottle of water, and I kept hitting it over and over and over again, and I kept, I kind of wondered what was going on in my stroke that was different than when I was putting at the hole.
What was going on in your stroke?
I just was a little more convicted at impact. I was a little more aggressive. So when I would read a putt, and I'm not big on telling you it breaks 2 inches. If you ask me, hey Zinger, what do you think of this putt? I'm gonna go a little right, it's gonna go to the left. But when I looked at my putts from the side, my whole career, I would try to picture that bottle of water or that styrofoam cup. If I got further out, I would picture maybe a bait bucket or a 5-gallon bucket if I had a 25-footer. And I know if I stand over here and I look at that, I'm like, man, if that was above ground, I'd never miss it. And I'd get in and I'd hit the putt like I was putting to the styrofoam cup. All the putts I made under pressure, I felt like I was putting at something that was sticking up in the air, not trying to fit it into the hole.
So in 1987, I qualified for the Phoenix Open. That was your first win on the PGA Tour. That Sunday, you hit it in the left bunker on 16, hit a heck of a bunker shot out 15, 16, 18 feet from the hole. That putt, you were thinking about something above ground.
You better believe it. And I can't believe you remember that. You know what I remember about that moment the most? When I hit it in that bunker, I was playing with Doug Toole, who was a veteran at the time, and I was just a kid, pretty much. I'd been on tour a few years, but never really had a chance to win like that. And I'm walking off that tee, and Doug Toole trotted up beside me, and as we walked to that devilish pothole,
it's dead.
It's dead. He said to me, just get it up and down, just get it up and down, he said it 3 times. And I just kind of tossed what had just happened and just focused on what was about to happen. And golf's so mental. There's thousands of guys that hit it good, Brandel. There's only handfuls of guys that really go to another place mentally. Tiger goes to some place that's, who knows where he is. But if I'm gonna make this putt in the hole, I mean, my philosophy is to try to hit it like I'm hitting at that white styrofoam cup. Now, of course, I would read it differently and spend some time back there, but I think that if a poor putter would just putt like he's trying to hit at something above ground, he would be so happy with how he releases it and the amount of conviction that is in the release when you putt. There's nothing worse than like flinching on a putt or kind of babying it up there because you're trying to fit it into that cup.
Where's a great example of where maybe you would have been tentative, left it short, but you hit a putt with enough authority to get on the right line? Was it Vegas last hole when you won in '87?
That's a great example. I had this putt for eagle, so I was tied with Curtis Strange and Hal Sutton. Curtis was on the green and he was now putting for birdie, and I've got this eagle opportunity and Hal's in the fairway and he's waiting on us, and in my mind I put a bait bucket, white on the bottom, yellow on the top.
A big old bait bucket.
Yeah, I forget what they're actually called, but I got to the side and I looked at this 25-footer and it was up this hill. And ordinarily, it's hard to reach. I know 2 putts is probably going to get me in a playoff, and I wasn't real results conscious other than I saw that bait bucket and I thought, if that's that bait bucket, I'm going to hit it every time.
Not going to miss.
And it went in, So I didn't, I wasn't trying to fit it in something that size. I was just trying to hit the bait bucket. And sometimes it can be a 5-gallon bucket, or actually maybe even a 50-gallon drum. I mean, if you're 50 feet away and you're just trying to bump into a 50-gallon drum, if you stood to the side and looked at it, it's a piece of cake. So if I want to stroke this and hit that bottle or that yellow styrofoam cup, that's what I go for. And I'll try to make the same stroke at the hole. I just want to release it with that same amount of aggression.
So the people at home, read every article. They hear all this instruction about where you set up, where your hands are, where your weight is, and you're telling them that you didn't have one thought about where your weight is, where you took the putter back.
I did technically. I like my weight back more than forward.
Okay.
Because you can reverse pivot out of a putt.
Okay.
So I do like my weight 50-50 or even slightly back. But what difference does it matter what the stroke looks like? I mean, you can stroke it like that and hit that cup, or you can go like this and hit the cup. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect, but if you can be visual, I think you can be a better putter.